All right, so today we're gonna be doing a camper van tour, my camper van, because it's been a while since I've actually, well, there's been a lot of changes since the first one I did, and the first one I did was like a long time ago and it wasn't even that good to begin with. So let's consider this the first official one because there are still things that I'm working on. There's things a constant work in progress, as yours probably is too, and that's completely fine. That's what we're all about at DIY Camper Build. It doesn't have to be perfect, you know, to get you on the road. So hopefully this video will prove that to you. So let's start with the back, you know, like what I call the garage, where I store all of, well, you know, a lot of stuff. Usually my equipment when I'm in Canada, you know, working and stuff. That's what I reserve that area for. But when I'm on vacation, it's used for, well, like, as you can see, it's a bit of a mess now. But I got my foldable bike over here, which is really cool, you know, if I want to go explore some areas. Right now I'm in a state park in Florida, and I'm probably actually going to go for a bike ride after. And this thing is super great because it's, like I said, it folds up, it doesn't take much space. It's actually one of the most comfortable bikes I've ever ridden, as long as you're not riding it forever, because, you know, it's always going to hurt your ass a little bit, these dang seats. But, you know, that's pretty much all there is to it for, you know, for that. And sometimes I'll even put my paddle board in here. As you can see, there's plenty of space to put a paddle board, but I was afraid there would be too much alligators in Florida. But there are some spots I could have actually used my paddle board, but I don't regret it. There's plenty of stuff to do besides that. So other than that, there's some like technical stuff. I don't know if you guys can see it. I'll probably edit in some B-roll just for clarity's sake. But really back there, I have a gasoline generator. So I've honestly never used it to date. I have it just in case. I mean, technically what I bought it for was to top off my Bluetti AC180, which I actually didn't talk about in the video I did about power management, because honestly, like I said, I haven't used it to date. But it would be for like an emergency situation, I guess, where I'm like super off grid or like there's a power outage. Mainly it's for like power outages, like even if you have, like, you know, at my place, at my apartment and stuff, or which I'm actually about to get rid of to buy a commercial building. You know, you never know, like especially in Quebec in the winter, like power can go out for weeks sometimes. It's happened. So this is just like a really good thing to have in general, not just for van life, but just in general, right? And as you can see on this side, I have some jerry cans. I have 2 gasoline 5 liters, so that will be for the generator because this is a diesel van, and I have a 20-liter jug jerry can for diesel that I don't really use it for the heater, because the heater I actually just fill it up at the pump, because, you know, the cord, you could just bring it inside and it's doable. But this is mostly just, you know, when the price of gas is really good. Well, it's also in case I somehow run out of diesel on the road, which is unlikely. But like if you're in a state or in a province where like gas is cheaper, I like to just, you know, fill it up. That way it's, you know, it's like you're saving some money really, but at the end of the day, does it make that much of a difference? Who knows? But that's what it is. I got my oil catcher over here in case I need to change my oil, or if ever the oil pan, like I've talked about it in the video I did on the emergency roadside items to have. You know, if your oil pan starts leaking and you need to like fix it or whatever, it's like always good to have it on hand. Other than that, I mean, I have a spare tire back there that's strapped down. Everything is strapped down with strap ratchets, and I basically screwed in some hooks and stuff. So that's pretty cool. I don't know if you can see, but I have this shovel over here. It's a telescopic. The ones normally you use to like shovel a roof, because you need one for a van like this high whenever there's snow. Right now we're in Florida, so it's not a problem. But when I drive back up, you know, I might stay at a truck stop and then it snows overnight, and then, well, here it is. So I have it. I can take the snow off my roof so I don't get a ticket. Other than that, on the left side over here, we have, you know, just broom, paddle for the paddle board, you know, just some nice, neat storage ideas, you know, to put all the sticks, you know, like whatever stick you have, you can like just store them all on the side like that so they don't take too much space. And if we back up a little bit, I have these nets over here I installed. And basically these nets, well, one is like a jacket to work on the vehicle. So I put this on if ever I have to work on the vehicle, get on the floor, get dirty. It's just like I don't give a fuck kind of jacket. So if it gets dirty, it doesn't matter. And on this side, I have a tarp, you know, if ever, you know, whatever, on the floor, if ever I have somehow a leak on the roof, which is highly unlikely at this point. But it would be for, you know, I could cover it up and have like these magnet hooks, which are extremely powerful, and they can be used for that. So that pretty much takes care of the back. I mean, you see I have a plug for my, you know, to charge my, my drill if ever I need to fix some stuff. These, they help because they're thick curtains. They help with the wind. I mean, like with the breezes in the winter and stuff, if it's cold. I mean, I've got a big diesel truck behind me. But anyways, they don't really help that much. I mean, but it's more for privacy than anything. So if we go in the front, as you can see, I have actually recently installed this Van Essential like bug screen thing, which is pretty cool, I guess, but it was not nearly as easy to install as they made it out to be. And already the magnets, they seem to be kind of like demagnetizing, and it's been like literally like a couple of days I had it. So I'm still a bit iffy about it. I don't regret buying it, but you know, just keep that in mind. It was very stressful to install this thing. So let's go ahead and check out the inside. All right, so the inside part is obviously the most important part, right? So this is all DIY. I didn't get like, none of this is stock. I made all of this myself, including the cabinets. Hold on, nothing's perfect right in here. So, you know, gas struts for the, you know, to make this possible basically, and then some hooks. So the way I organize things, you know, I put some stuff, I try to compartmentalize everything as much as I can. As you can see, I got these nice little RGB lights. Those are the main lights I use at night because they don't take much electricity and they look freaking cool. So I like those. They're not the cheap ones, they're the strips, which I had at the beginning and they were absolutely terrible. They would break all the time. These are like nice, rigid ones, and they honestly cost about the same thing. So anyways, got a light over here. Other than that, got this cool sink. This is one thing I installed this year. I love this thing. So you can use it as a countertop, but it's also like a sink, right? So we go like that, you could close it up so we have an extra surface to work on. Here we have this, see, I put the lock there, basically so it doesn't move while I'm driving. And in there you have like, you know, the foot pump, which is what I use. I don't use an electric one. Got the water container. I'm gonna do close-ups of these in B-roll, guys, because I can't obviously get everything in the shot like this. But, and yeah, you actually have like the outlet from this sink is going straight down into the street. So, I mean, obviously it's, you know, you can say that's like whatever, like disrespectful or whatever. It's just water. In my hands, I wash my hands with it. I wash like with water. I don't even really need to use soap because I don't really cook in here or anything. So it's not like technically gray water. It's just literally water. So if it rains outside, it's essentially the same thing. So, I mean, don't take my advice for it, but in my case, I think it's completely fine. So that's pretty much it. Over here, we got the power stations. Only one of them is here now because the other one's in the front seat getting them, because I'm going to charge it as I'm driving today with the DC outlet, the 12 volt. But this is the Bluetti AC 180. So that's my main house battery. And down there we have Vever diesel, Chinese diesel heater. That's what we use for heat. Other than that, let's flip it around. So let's go over here. Got the bed. It's a nice thing with like what, like 10-inch thick mattress, probably. I'm gonna try to get on here. And it's very comfortable. It's honestly more comfortable than the bed I sleep at home, which is essentially the couch. It's a couch bed. So this is a lot more comfortable. I actually sleep much better in here than I do at home. And I did kind of like a cool, you know, storage trick, which is I have this desk over here, which I can honestly use to work, but I have all my batteries here also to charge. And underneath that is where I put all my clothes. So I have these baskets and all the clothes are basically there. And that's pretty much it. I have a CO2 detector. I have a fire detector over here, and I have like this little basket over here, which is pretty practical, where I put like stuff in. I can move it around pretty easily. It's good to have that. Other than that, like basic racking systems, as you can see, you know, it's mostly stuff I got at the dollar store, to be honest. Like You know, this is like nicely varnished. You know, there's still things to do. The upholstery is like faux leather. Still have to do some stuff, like some molding. It still has to be worked on. It's a bit of a, like I said, it's a work in progress, but it gets the job done. It doesn't look conventional. I'm not a conventional person, so it fits my vibe perfectly. But, you know, that's pretty much all there is to it, guys. I mean, there's these garbages over here. One's recyclable, one's garbage. So this is very, you know, it's very easy to change. I have a lugaloo here, which I rarely use. It's just for emergencies. Like, let's say you wake up one morning and you have to go to a washroom and you're not anywhere near a washroom. But in my case, if I'm at a truck stop or, you know, Walmart is like 30-minute drive away or something, it's, like I said, I never really need it. On this trip, I haven't used it at all, and I don't think I will. So it's just there in case. Could also use as another garbage if you really needed to. And then lastly, where we're gonna end off is these benches I built over here, which they open up and stuff. I put, you know, store my water in there, my emergency supplies, power, detergent, you know, all sorts of stuff. Like, you could have a lot of storage in here. Sometimes I even put food, but not really. If I had like a lot of food I was storing for a big off-grid kind of a trip, which I did once, but that's pretty much it, guys. There's not too much bells and whistles. It's just the essentials and just really efficient management of the space. So we're gonna get out. But that's pretty much all there is to it, guys. So if you know, if there's anything in here that inspires you to create your own camper van, or like things that you might want to add to yours, then great, we did our job. And if you have any suggestions or things that you guys are doing different, if you want to talk a bit about your setup, leave it down in the comments. We'd love to hear more about it. And as usual, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
All right, guys, that's it for this one. If you're building something that's meant to last, whether it's a camper van, a business, or just a better way of living, I'm glad you're here. Everything I use, recommend, or offer is linked in the description. Take what works, build your own blueprint, and I'll see you in the next one.